Let me start with my welcome. Hello everyone. I hope everyone enjoyed your day. Even it is a Sunday, you people showed up your interest for this beautiful session. So I welcome all the retractors, non-retractors, women, girls, and boys to the Frame Yourself a session. Now I welcome the real heroine of the day, our beloved lens queen, Nisha Purushothaman ma'am, who is a speaker, co-founder of Portrails, traveler, wildlife photographer, and much more. She is a all the women who really wants to achieve their own passion in their life. So we people are really waiting for this day, especially for this session. So I think it's time to hand over the session to our own Nisha Purushothaman ma'am, a speaker for the day. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi, ma'am.
How are you?
Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
Thank you. Thank you for getting in touch. And I don't know to what extent I'll fit into the the whole introduction which you have given to me. But then I'm really happy to be here and share whatever experience I had with my so far journey as a photographer. So I keep getting in advice from your team on how should I divide the whole topic and how should I proceed and all these things. So as per the requirement, I'm supposed to give you a 15 minutes introduction to myself, followed by a presentation with some of my favorite images or some moments, followed by a question answer. Am I right? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Am I
ma'am.
audible?
It's your
Yeah.
session, so you can.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, ma'am. You are audible. You are audible.
Okay. So, I mean, a formal introduction, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how many of you guys are into wildlife photography or have seen me or my images. I can say maybe in the very first steps of wildlife photography. I'm doing this for last 10 years. And it's a beautiful journey. The moment you are connecting with nature, it's always a beautiful experience and a beautiful journey. So starting with the introduction, yes, I'm from Kollam. It's a very small, Paravur, which is a very small coastal town or coastal village, in fact, in southern side of Kerala. And my place is extremely beautiful. I think that is the inspiration for me to get into nature or get more connected with nature related works. It's like you take a walk from my home to any direction, whether it is south, east, west, or north. You will either end up in some paddy field, otherwise you will end up in backwaters, otherwise you will end up in a beach. So it's extremely beautiful. And my house is it's a very small plot, but we have a hell a lot of trees around my house, like around 30 to 35 fruit bearing trees around my house. So any point of time, if you're visiting my home, you will be able to get some fresh pesticide free fruits to begin with. And we don't take all the fruits from the trees so that we will have our winged guest all the time. So we get to see like 10 to 15 species throughout the year. And I think it's very natural when you grew up in such an atmosphere, you tend to become a nature lover. My dad was in the Air Force first. Later on, he got into Central Bank of India. I mean, either way, he was a center government employee, and we used to travel with him throughout India. So that as a kid definitely influenced me to explore more places. Everything started with, the interest in seeing places. And I was never that keen on cities. And my mom used to paint. She still does, but then so it kind of influenced me to get slightly into art, and I'm a fine art graduate. From fine art and finance is two different things, so people always get confused. So it's a fine art student specialized in applied arts. And I think the main reason behind that, I'm being very honest, people do say that in fine arts college, you don't have to study much. So I had this misunderstanding about this, that I don't have to study much. Till then, I'm coming from a very middle class family with a very, what do you call, very, very strict family. So I thought, okay, fine. Away from home, not much to study. So there is a great opportunity to explore the so-called life and freedom, and join in college. Yeah, it was completely a different experience for me. Before that, I had a very small camera, a point and shoot camera, but then photography was a subject in this. So I managed to get a DSLR camera and start to explore. So those days my main interest was doing some portfolio for my hostel mates, get some money, and don't inform the parents, and travel around and take some photos of landscapes or something. But it was not like, you know, professional or anything. It was passion driven. But then life is not a straight line. After the college, I couldn't I tried to be an assistant for a fashion photographer based in Kochi. Things didn't work because, you know, I didn't understand the concept of being an assistant for a fashion photographer at that point of time. So it was, as a fresher, I find it quite difficult, because the only job you have to do is carrying the equipment from one side to other side, and fixing up the light and all. So I kind of find it boring. And after a month's time, I think I quit and got into an TV ad agency as a creative person. 2 years over there, then moved to Bangalore, um, again in software section. But then, you know, you have that feel, you have that urge, or you have that thirst to explore the world. Finally found a opportunity in Times of India, I believe, to be a part of a cruise line. Applied for it, got it, moved to the US. I was working with Royal Caribbean for some time. The thing is, it have given me an opportunity to see some beautiful places across the world, but that was not the kind of photography I was looking for. That was more of people. Yeah, you do get to see a lot of places, but then no, it was not the kind of photography I wanted to do. Again, as me being a very fickle minded person, I quit that as well and came to see my cousins in Dubai. Happened to get back to a job again into advertising agency as a project manager. And out of any other place, Dubai changed my life for good so far. Now, what is future? I don't know. Especially with COVID, I have absolutely no idea. But then, you know how, I don't know how many of you guys are working, how many of you are students. So once you got into advertising field or any other field in that matter, the funny part is you will have no idea how the time just moves on. And in advertising industry, the main problem is you will have an idea when you are getting into office, but you will have absolutely no idea what time you're going to get out of the office. But the good part was I was working only for 5 days a week. The rest of the 2 days was completely mine. And I had at that point of time a Nikon D80 along with a Sigma 18200. So me and my cousin and couple of friends used to go to nearby places. We tried couple of times street photography, but then the problem was Dubai, it's a bit strict country. I'm not saying it's extremely strict, but then it's slightly strict, and we have been chased by police, couple of warnings. And then, as always, we thought, okay, our natural models are better than getting chased by police. We turned completely into it. I mean, nature was always a part, but then this kind of give us an extra push to get more close to the natural side of Dubai. Can you believe there are more than 420 plus species of birds has been recorded in UAE? And I mean, between me and my cousin, we got only 230 or something like that, even after working all this while. But then that was a life-changing experience. We used to go out to any particular place starting around 3:34 in the morning, then come back around 11 in the afternoon. It started with Fridays, then it gone into Friday and Saturday. Then eventually by a year's time or a 6 months to a year's time, I started to do this on a regular basis, like every day before going to work. We kind of what do you call, try to go to some location at least on alternative days for an hour before going to work. So that was kind of creeping into the system. It was kind of becoming, what do you call, the second skin, or the soul. I don't know how to put it in my words, but the more time you spend in nature, that kind of influences you so much that you just want to be in nature. You don't want to do anything else. You will be sitting in the office waiting for the work to get over so that you can get some sleep and get back to nature. That was the craze we had. And in between, we started to visit, started to make our boundaries slightly larger with Gujarat, Thol Lake, and Nal Sarovar. And I was there in Chennai for a couple of times for Vedantangal and one more place. I forgot the name of the place. It was quite long back. Chennai is very special for me because that's one place I got an owl shot, a little owlet shot, which is looking straight to my heart. People still say that is one of my most beautiful pictures. And a lot of people say my eyes and owl's eyes look kind of similar. I feel a bit overwhelmed whenever people say that. And that was one change, starting more into exploring place beyond Dubai. And 2011 or 2012, I happened to visit Masai Mara for a short, I think it was a 3 days trip, or during an Eid vacation. Oh my God, that was the change. The moment you go there, I mean, it kind of struck me so solidly. I thought of doing it for once a year. Right now, I'm not talking about 2020, but then before that, it's like 4 to 6 trips a year. That's the kind of power we have, or the influence, excuse me, and influence we got from that place. The people are extremely good, extremely friendly, and the opportunity to photograph, do photography it's amazing. It's When you're doing photography in India, it's more challenging, I must say, especially if you're doing it in Kerala, because it's very thick, lush forest. You get anything inside that is definitely beautiful, but finding it and getting it is definitely a task. So, uh, in short, this was my so far journey. And when this craze literally hit my head 6 years ago, I quit my job, started an organization that is called PAWS Trails, PAWS Trails. The reason behind that was like, uh, you know, you come back from every trip with thousands of images, and it is sitting in your hard disk, and you are not doing anything else other than just sharing it with some of your, what do you call, in throughout social media, and just some wows. And how about what do you call? We wanted to do something beyond that, and when you start to spend a lot of time inside forest, you will understand how much damage we have created to this planet Earth, and we are still creating to the planet Earth. That's kind of pretty, it hurts. Any person who visit or who spend a lot of time in nature, I'm sure they will agree to what I'm saying. Uh, the How selfish, I think the only creature in this world who can go against nature will be only humans. So the whole concept was, how can we do something to spread awareness and get into or work on something which can help to connect people back to nature. And when you think about images have that capacity. If I give you a handout, 800 page, forget about 800 page, 80-page note, how many of you will be reading? I don't know. I mean, in my case, I'll just flip through. So, but in case if it got some beautiful imagery, don't forget about the heartbreaking images. Even if it is some beautiful images, you tend to at least stare on it for a couple of minutes, or at least for some time. And that helps. That definitely helps, because if one person is getting with this images, somebody is getting connected to nature, that is the thing which we wanted to do. So it started with online magazine, started with workshops. In fact, we people wanted to travel with us, share our experience, and people wanted we to guide them in photography. So it started like that, and eventually we met a lot of people like us, or like-minded people, and started a magazine 4 years ago. It's an online magazine, completely free, and it worked quite well. Then people start to ask us, why are you just sticking on the online, the digital platform base? Why can't we get connected with you? Why can't we create a platform where we can interact with each other? That's how we started with the exhibitions. We thought of doing 1 to 3 exhibition a year, but we ended up in doing 9 exhibitions in a year. So that was the kind of response we got from people to be a part of whatever we were doing. Maybe because the idea behind this was completely pure, and we got a lot of passion and love for nature. And it got into that extent. On the second year, we got a tie-up with National Geography and WWF as a partner. So that is the journey. Right now, 7 months back, I moved to Vancouver. We started a small branch over here. My cousin and a partner in the same organization is still in Dubai. We're working on there too. Right now, as a professional, I conduct workshops, talks, then what do you call, magazine is one. We have two online magazines, and we published one coffee table book. Seminar. I'm a conservation speaker for Nikon, and I mean, this is our journey. And so far, 34 editions of magazine, and we have planted around 40,000 plus trees across the world through our friend circle and people whom we don't even know. So the impact what we can create with a person coming from a very small coastal town can do this much. I'm sure you guys can do way better than this. So it's all about connecting with everybody who is interested in nature and doing more. And the latest addition to our work is doing the webinars, like exactly like what I'm doing. So as a part of our organization, we conduct 3 webinars, 2 to 3 webinars on every week. And we are bringing in experts from across the world. And you can take a look at youtube.com/FostRailsOfficial. I think that was a lot of me blah about what I do, what I'm into, kind of thing. I'm sure it is kind of quite tiring and quite boring. I'll take you through a presentation with some images, and I think this is kind of getting boring. I have no idea. How do you feel? Do you want me to stop or anything. So anybody want to ask me any questions, please stop me in between. You can switch on the mic and ask me so that we can make it more interactive and we can proceed. So what do you guys think? Shall I proceed with the presentation and we'll take it forward from there?
Ma'am, you can proceed with your we can proceed with your PPT presentation, ma'am. We'll go through your pictures and
Okay.
further we'll go for question and answer session. Thank you.
Sure. I'm not able to share it because host disabled
Just a
attendee
minute, ma'am.
screen
I will make
sharing.
you. I will make you.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Now you can.
One small reminder, meeting will be ending in 5 minutes. You can join back using the same link, my dear friends. Thank you.
Do you want me to log in again? Was it for me?
For everyone, ma'am, it will
Oh,
be ending in 5 minutes. We
okay.
can join using the same link.
Okay. So do you want me to start now with the presentation or do you want me to wait for 5 minutes and
We have
proceed?
5 minutes,
What do
ma'am.
you want me to do? I'm sorry?
We have 5 minutes, ma'am. The time will be shown
Okay.
at the top of the screen, ma'am.
All right.
We can start.
Okay. So let's start. This particular image is from Tanzania. How many of you are aware of animal behavior? Anybody? Okay. I can understand everybody's mic is mute. So when you are standing next to a lion, the main problem is you have absolutely no idea when this guy is going to get up or when he is going to move his legs. He is the king, but then he's one of the laziest animal in the wild. He can sleep up to 18 hours in one stretch. And this is from Gorongoro crater, which is one of the most beautiful African territory I have seen, and I'm in love with this place. So on my first visit, the first species which we spotted was this handsome guy, and he was kind of sitting there, and with his actions, the sign of any cat to make some movement is like he will be yawning. If we yawn when we get bored, they yawn when they are about to do something. So that's the difference. If you see any cat, whether it is lion, leopard, or cheetah, or even small cats, 2 to 3 or 4 yawns, then what you see is he's going to get up. Then he will arch his back exactly like the house cat, like this. This look like a Surya Namaskar for me. And then he again do the reverse arch, and then he start to walk. And at the same time, if he feels to make his presence announced, to make sure that no other lions are going to come in that area, they roar. And that is an amazing experience because this roaring can be audible for 8 kilometers away. So you can imagine the power. And he gets up and shake his head, and his whole mane just rotate around his face. It feels like a magic when you see it. And if you won't fall in love with this species, you don't have that emotional side in you. And this guy, again, because we kind of understood the behavior to some extent, I am not saying I'm a master in animal behavior, but with my limited knowledge, with that limited period of time, we kind of felt that this is what it is going to do. And as we expected, he got up, first stretched his back, walked, then territory marked, urinate, and then give us a beautiful, beautiful look for some time and moved. So that was the story behind this one. Now, when it comes to lions mating, a lions mate around